Hey guys, so I really just first off want to apologize for the audio in this clip. I noticed when I was editing that, I don't know, something happened with my lavalier mic and I think I need to get a new one, so the audio has a few issues that I wish I could clean up, but I am gonna post the video anyway just because I don't know when I'm gonna have time to run and go and get a new mic. So I mean, it's not absolutely the worst thing in the world, but I just wanted to say that I am aware of the audio issues, and for future videos I will have that corrected. But here's a pack video that you guys all wanted, and a gear video really for what gear I'll be running for this upcoming 2022 season, as far as rifle, bags, tripods, etc., bipods, whatever. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Start back here. This is the same tripod that I've been running for quite some time. It is a Really Right Stuff 24L with Anvil 30 head. I really like this tripod. I take it to every match I go to, whether that's PRS, NRL Hunter, or actually hunting. This is the main tripod that I use for everything, and I really like it. It's the L, so it gives me a lot of height. Anvil 30 head is amazing to shoot off of, so I really like that. Nextly, let's go. Well, I guess we'll talk about the other tripod that's in my pack. You guys can see this. This is the Vortex Radian. So this is basically their rebranded Leo Photo tripod. I actually won this at a match, so I will be testing it out. This one, the leg diameter is a bit thicker, and it is definitely heavier, obviously partly due to the ball head that's on here, but it's definitely heavier, and the leg diameter is thicker than my Really Right Stuff. However, I don't like ball heads for shooting off of as much as I like the Anvil 30, so this one will mostly be regulated to optics duty as a glorified optics holder, but I may try it out in like local matches to shoot off of and stuff like that, just to kind of give it a run and see how it goes. But so far it's been pretty stable. I mean, it's really beefy. I don't think it's terrible, you know, so more to come on this, but yes, I am carrying this in the pack as well. All right, let's put that there. So this is the rifle. You guys are asking me what I'm gonna be running this season. So obviously there's some chassis and stocks and stuff that I wanna test throughout the year, but when I'm not doing that, my main match rifle will be this right here. This is my KRG Whiskey 3 with a paint job, and same Curtis action, ZCO 5-27 with the MP CT 3X scope. The 3X is the same reticle, it's just without the tactical vagina at the top, if you will. But it's basically the 3X without, or the 3 without that at the ranging reticle at the top. So I really like that. Enclosed forend, obviously. Spur mount. It's a folder. Bipod on it right now is a Thunder Beast bipod. My normal bipod that I run in matches is going to be the double pull Skypod as my main bipod, but I do carry two bipods with me. This one I will use in certain situations when I need to quick deploy my bipod, and for inside the house when I'm dry fire practicing, because it's got rubber feet, so I call that the house shoes for the bipod. Or for the rifle, excuse me. Caliber wise, anything from 6.5 47, 6.5 Creed, 6BR, 25 Creed. I mean, just really depends on what match I'm shooting and what I might have ammo for. That'll kind of dictate what caliber I'll shoot. But this is the main setup. I still do have my AI and I shoot it, you know, here and there and whatnot, but this is my main match rifle. Trigger-Tech Diamond. I'm trying to think what else. If you guys have any specific questions about the rifle setup, feel free to ask me, but that's all of the rifle setup. Nextly, we'll move on to the pack and do a quick pack dump. So previously I was using the Everly stock R3 Upranger, which is sort of that camera pack that's got a lot of dividers and internal organization, if you will. I really like that pack. I still have it, but one of the complaints that I had on that particular pack was that you couldn't just kind of stuff things in there like an extra big puffy jacket or extra layer of clothes without being very meticulous about the way that you packed it, because it had so many different compartments and things like that. It just didn't have a lot of empty free space, if you will, to just shove some extra stuff in there. So I decided to try a different pack. This is an Eberly stock as well. This is the Fact Track. I believe it's the F2 Fact Track. And I really like it. The main problem with Eberly stock packs as a whole is that their dry weight is pretty heavy. I believe dry weight on this one is like 5 or 6 pounds empty. So not the lightest thing in the world, but it could be worse for sure. But again, this isn't something that I would take hunting with me or anything like that. It's a little bit too heavy, and I've got more purpose-built packs for that. But I do like this as a match backpack. Just quickly, some of the main features I like about it versus other packs is that this is both a top loader and a front loader. So depending on which way is best to get my gear, I can do that, versus something like the G3 Phantom that I have that is only a front loader. And the other thing that I like about this pack that not a lot of other packs have for some unexplained reason, well, I guess for their own reasons, but is these long side sleeves. So these side sleeves basically take up the entire side of the backpack, and I like it because I can just shove the 2 legs of my tripod down the sleeve here, and I don't even have to compression strap it, and it'll stay in there. So if I'm moving quick from one stage to the next or something like that, easily right in, right out. I don't have to fiddle fuck with straps and everything else like that. So I'm always a fan of these like really long side pockets, right? So this is the top opening, and then obviously this is the front opening. All right, so let's get down to what I keep in here really quick. In the top compartment, we've got Ear Pro, MSA Sordens. We've got a arm board that I use as backup data, my Kestrel. I've got a Send It level, and then the main way that I put my dope is the Hawk Hill data holder. With this is the E-dope. Now I've tested the Kestrel solution to this, like the Kestrel data card, excuse me, and I like this better for a multitude of reasons. I could do a more in-depth review, but some of the quick basic features that I like about this better is, 1, it's a much smaller and thinner form factor. 2, there's no batteries on this thing. There's no electronics, so I don't have to worry about, oh shit, my battery's died. I don't have any extras or anything like that. Number 3, I can literally write and label targets however I want to on here. I can say target 1, and then if they're animal targets, for example, I can say pig 395, coyote, 457, bear 892, so on and so forth. So I like that. It gives you a little more freedom. Plus it can landscape as well as vertical orientation. So I like that, and I just keep it on the Hawk Hill, which goes on top of the Raptor rail like this on my rifle. So that's what I keep in the top compartment. Moving on to the 2 admin pouches up front. All right, and this top one, this is where I keep miscellaneous items. So I've got like a chamber flag. This is my brass bag, so I just open this up, and that's where I keep my brass. I've got these Arca iPhone holders, so I can put these on my tripod to record myself during stages with my phone. I've got a little miscellaneous bag here with like batteries, some backup Ear Pro, more paper clips, an extra chamber flag, lens cloth, etc. Just random stuff like that that I keep in here. And that goes in this top pocket, right? Okay. Then we move on to the bottom pouch. And in here I keep another arm board as backup, or in case of a new shooter wants to borrow one or something like that. This is the Sports Authority Special. It's just a quarterback sleeve that you can get at Sports Authority, Big Five, or your Amazon or whatever sporting goods store. I also keep a rifle cool in here. This works great on hot days. It is annoying kind of, yes, to electronic ear pro, but it works really well. And whether it's a hot day at the range or a hot weather match, this is always good to have in the pack. All right, sorry about that, guys. Some technical difficulties there. Anywho, so I was down here at this lower admin pocket, so I just carry extra Sharpies and markers, etc. In here. I always carry a spare trigger as well. So my spare Remington 700 trigger is actually my old Cadex trigger. So I know this is kind of a sleeper, but this is the very first Remington 700 like custom trigger that I ever ran, and I actually ended up really liking it. Never had any problems with it. It's just a 2-stage trigger, and I switched to diamonds, and I love them. And I know somebody's gonna say, well, why do you have a 2-stage as a backup when you shoot a single stage? You know, honestly, I just didn't want to spend the money on another diamond, and knock on wood, I haven't needed to use a backup trigger just yet. But my AI is also a 2-stage, so I mean, I'm not completely unfamiliar with shooting 2 stages at all, and obviously my ARs are 2 stages, etc. So it's not completely unfamiliar to me, but I always carry a backup trigger if needed. And then back here, of course, your Gray Ops gamer plate. Now, I'm not a huge plate guy, and to be honest, I've only used this once since I got it, but you never know when you're gonna need it. Or maybe somebody else wants to borrow it, let them have at it, right? But I'm typically not a fan of strapping gamer plates to the rifle, only because, not that I don't think they work, I mean they do work, I believe, but what ends up happening a lot of times is if you don't settle your bag properly, what can happen is this can settle onto your bag with cant in it, to the point where now it's even more work to fix the cant with this big old plate than it is with just the rifle, and sometimes you're just kind of stuck in that position. As well as, obviously, this makes the footprint wider, so sometimes this doesn't fit in certain things, like in the crotch of a tank trap or something like that. It may not fit, and now you've just costed yourself time on the clock to take this off and then reposition yourself on the tank trap. Just, you know, little things, wet wipes and whatnot, a little sunscreen, etc. in this bag. This is for extreme emergency situation paper. This is the Right and Rain paper, in case if it gets super wet and I'm shooting in a really rainy match or something like that. And then this is my backup AI trigger. So my AI, I'll do a review at some point on it. But my AI currently has the competition trigger in it, and this is the OEM trigger, so this is what I use as a backup. So I always just keep that in there. Even though I'm not shooting my AI, I just leave the trigger in there, honestly, just because I'm kind of lazy to be taking it out and then forgetting, and sometimes I'll just take whatever rifle I feel like on a whim, you know? So I don't want to have to swap it out, and they're not too heavy. So that's what's in that pocket. And then now let's move to the main compartment. I'm not like huge on taking a lot of different stuff to matches. I'm a 1-bag shooter, so this is my Schmedium Game Changer. Take that with me to pretty much every PRS style match. Hunter series, I think it's a little bit heavy, but every PRS match for sure, I'm taking a Schmedium Game Changer. This is my spotter, Hensoldt Spotter 60. I take that pretty much to every match as well. Leica range-finding binos. Just depending on the match, distances, and then obviously conditions as far as mirage and things like that will determine if I'm going to use either my spotter or my binos to spot at that particular match. But I typically always carry both just in case. And fortunately, the glass on the Hensoldt is good enough that even in pretty tough atmospheric conditions like heavy mirage and you know, all that kind of thing, the glass still holds up really well. So I typically use my spotter primarily and only really bring this out if one, I need to start ranging stuff, or two, if the distances aren't too far and you know, my spotter 60 is just having a really hard time, but I don't come across that too often. We got a sling. This is a rifles only sling. I like this one because it's comfortable. It's got some bungee on it. I don't actually ever shoot using a sling really. I just mostly use this as, you know, extra way to carry my rifle, extra transportation. But it's always good to have a sling in there in case you gotta hump your rifle a little bit of a ways. All right. This is just like a climbing strap that I use to strap my bag to the hook on the underside of my tripod so that it can kind of stand, so it's not always flopping over. That's one thing that I liked about the R3 Upranger, is that because it has that hard shell, it'll always kind of stand on its own and you don't have to worry about it. But I carry this just so that with these carabiners here, I can hook it on to the backpack and then just kind of have it hanging from the hook on the bottom of the tripod. Gloves, I mean, I don't really use these too much, but obviously in case if it gets cold or wet, then it's always good to have some gloves. These are waterproof-ish gloves, and I have used them a couple times. What's really nice is I got the ones that you can I'll do a quick demo for you guys. But the fingers of the tips are like pullback style, so they're little buttons, so that if I'm about to shoot, so I can keep my fingers warm, but I don't like to shoot. I feel like I lose feeling on the trigger if I shoot with it on, so I can just get just my trigger finger, or I can do my thumb as well, and I can do middle finger as well. Just bring those back so I can get a little more feel when I'm on the rifle, etc. But I don't typically shoot with gloves on unless weather dictates, but it's always good to have a pair in there. All right. And then this is the Weebad bag that attaches to the gamer plate. The reason that I like this one and not, I believe the other one's Armageddon gear, is because the Armageddon gear one straps onto the gamer plate, to the Gray Ops plate, with hooks, as opposed to this one is Velcro. And I have actually seen those hooks come off of the gamer plate, and so you end up having a bag that's like hanging on by only like one side or like two ends, and so it obviously loses a little stability, and honestly you could just potentially just lose your bag transitioning from one prop to another. So I like the Weebad ones because I've never seen these fail. It's just Velcro that goes through the hook of the gamer plate and straps on like that. Like I say, I've only used the gamer plate a couple times, but the couple times that I did, it was this attached to it because it was very fast transition stages on props that were more or less halfway stable, so it was just faster to have a bag attached to my rifle than moving a Game Changer. All right, and then the last thing that I keep is in the back of this pocket here, or not a pocket, but like a thing, and that is this able table or attack table. So this I primarily use for like the hunter matches. This is where I would place obviously this has arc on the bottom, put this on your tripod, bag on top of this, glass off of the top of that, and then transition to your rifle and just shoot, you know, attack table with a bag on top, rifle on top of that. Is really, really fast. Sometimes faster than clamping in, just depending, and also depending on distance to the target and target size, this is more than stable enough. So I always carry these. It's also, I put this Velcro on here because I also take this tack table hunting with me, and this is how I strap my binos down to the tack table so that I can glass from my tripod with this tack table. So that's that, and honestly that's pretty much it, guys. I don't really take a whole lot to matches. I don't use pump pillows. I don't take any of those other really big bags or anything like that with me. Somebody's gonna ask about this. This is just where I keep my glasses. Some ranges require them. I don't normally shoot with glasses. I know that's a personal preference for everybody and, you know, different situations like that, and that's totally fine. I prefer not to unless it's mandatory, but I always keep eye pro with me regardless. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any specific questions about any gear or something that I don't carry that you think I should, or something that you guys carry that you think I should, or you know, why do I carry something, why don't I carry something, or just want more detail about a specific item you saw in here, please feel free to hit me up and ask me, and I'll do my best to answer or help you out. And I'm not saying this is the right gear for everybody, but this is what works for me. I'd love to hear what you guys run, and just so we can always kind of compare, and I'm all about learning new ways and techniques of doing things. So if you guys have a certain piece of gear that you found super helpful that I'm not carrying or using, then please, by all means, you know, let me know in the comments, and I'll love to check it out. Once again, man, just a quick video, so thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.